let me be. I have no list. But I have a conversation with you. And in the darkness of night, I speak to you. And you guide me. You take me to places I never imagined being. And many people here in the audience, we never imagined to be here in Rehavia. For even 50 years ago, I never imagined. And we never imagined all of what is happening to us. So guide me, sustain me. Because without your angel, life is too difficult. It cannot be navigated easily. So those are different levels of prayer, of tefillah. Miracles, regular life, which always has to be interrupted. And I have to be saved from problems I don't even know exist. I had a good friend in Muncie, a doctor. We had a lot of doctors in our shul. Some are here. But the one time I made a count, we had 25 doctors in shul. Every disease known to man was in the synagogue. One of them was a very, very astute radiologist. So he said they didn't have the tools that they have today, but he was an expert. So when the CT scan was first introduced, and people went to him for it, so he said, you know, people come and I do a scan of their lungs. But on the way, I find something in the thyroid. So I have to tell them, you know, your lungs are fine, but you have to take care of this and this. Man's unaware. And he said, half jokingly, but it's been proven, he said, on every scan I find something. Most of the time it's not important. Most of the time it's benign. Doesn't affect us. But he said, I always find something. And that's what Yaakov Avinu said. Hamalach hagoel osi mikol ra. Not from the raw that I know. He protects me from the wrong that I don't know. And that's why he said, Hu yavorech es hanorim. That's the blessing we give to the young. Because the young are completely unaware of what's in store. When you're 25 or 30, you think you'll always be 25 or 30. So these are different levels of tefillah. different levels of kavanah that a person has. So there's a question of whether tefillah is a mitzvah or not. Is it counted as a mitzvah? But tefillah is more than that. I can accomplish the mitzvah, but I haven't reached within myself to make tefillah meaningful. And most of tefillah is a flash of understanding, and an instant. That's why Chazal will say that our tefillahs ascend with the sound of the shofar. Because the shofar is an instant flash. That flash we can pray. I can't do it all the time. I can't do it every day. Rarely can I do it. But that's the goal. And such a tefillah is ma'avirin es roa hagzeira, is influential, not to be treated lightly, not here, not in heaven. I remember this, I'm going to conclude. You're not allowed to afflict people needlessly. So when I had my law office in Chicago, I told my secretary, you're going to get a lot of calls from rabbis. Because then I had some money, and people needed money. And people came from Eretz Yisrael especially. And I'm in the middle of trying to run a law practice. So I would say, use your judgment, I said to her. Find out their telephone number or where they're staying. Tell them I'll call them back. I'll take care of it. But I can't talk to them now. But I said, I don't know what to tell you, but there are certain rabbis that you can interrupt me for anything. So I was sitting in my office one day, and I'm talking to a client, and my secretary buzzes me. And she says, I have one of the interruptible rabbis on the phone. So I said to the client, just excuse me, this is a call that I must take. So I get on the phone, and Rabbi Cutler's on the other end of the phone. He says, das ist Cutler. He says, ich bin alt, I'm old, I can't schlep. Last year you gave me, I forget the amount, he said, for Lakewood, mail in the amount. I am too old to come to you. So I said, Rabbi, certainly. When I hung up, so the client said, who was that? I'm going to explain, the client wasn't Jewish. I'm going to explain Rabbi Cutler to him. So I said, sometimes I get a call in my office and she says, your mother's on the phone. Do you think I should take the call? So he said, certainly. If your mother's on the phone, she said, what are you talking about? Certainly. So I said, well, you have to think of it in that respect. That the person that's on the phone is like your mother. You have to take the call. There are calls that have to be taken, no matter what. The shofar is that call. It has to be taken. And you have to speak. And that's the idea of tefillah. So it's not just the regular Shmoneh Esrei, as important as it is. What's your wish? What's your basket full of requests? What miracle do you want me to perform? What guidance do you want me to give you? What angel do you want me to send to you? And if you can't say it, then it won't happen. It can't happen. And that's the tefillah that we're looking for. So the Ribono Shel Olam should help us that our tefillahs should be heard. They certainly are heard. And they certainly have an influence. And that in being heard, good and great things will happen for us and all of Israel and all of humankind in the coming good year. Will be zochet ksiva v'chasima tova.